We're back.
Not easy sometimes with this club, is it?
I love that. I love that you prepared that. A little Stella there waiting, didn't you? I'll do it for the full effect.
Had to
Uh,
be. Had to be.
where are you now?
I'm back in back in Torquay. Come back on holiday. I left for 1 day to go to Tottenham, and I'm back down again. So yeah, commitment to say the least.
That is commitment, mate. Fair play to you. I mean, fair play, and it sounds like a silly thing to do now. How did your family react to that? Did anyone come with you?
No, it was just me. They was happy with it. I mean, it was. I mean, they said that I did feel quite bad, but then they said, look, it's Tottenham. Yeah, we're never going to play Tottenham again for a long time. So yeah, they respected it. But yeah, I'm back here now with them. The Wi-Fi is not very good here, in case I am cutting out a little bit. But yes, yeah, I don't regret it. Let's put it that way. Even if we did get funded.
No. I mean, no, you're there. The Wi-Fi's cutting out. If anything, you've ruined the holiday. You're ruining the pod, and last night ruined the season. I mean, what's the problem? It's not an issue, is it? How did you feel when the lineup came out? Because that was what apparently a lot of people were a bit pissed off with seeing that many changes and that. I thought that was always going to happen. I think we said on the show last week that we'd probably see quite a few changes. What were you thinking when you saw the lineup? When you were traveling, what was it, 6 hours back from Devon?
Yeah, it was. I think it was 4. It was quite quick actually, but on the way there anyway. But yeah, we expected there to be changes, but I don't think I expected there to be that many. I expected it to kind of be half reserve, half first team. But when I saw Billy was the only first team player in there, it was like, oh, like blimey, that was quite a. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I mean, the league is the main focus at the end of the day, and the reserves. I mean, it's a good opportunity for them to get minutes in the legs and prove themselves a bit, but. Yeah, I think I was expecting a few more players in there, like a TC or a Grant or someone else. You know, obviously it would have been too risky for Chalobah and some other players like that. But yeah, ultimately it was. I didn't mind it. I saw a reason why, but obviously a lot of people weren't happy about it and aren't happy about it even now after the game. But yeah, I can see Jones's reason fully.
If it makes you any better, like Billy was the only first teamer starting yesterday. He's not going to be starting for the first team on Saturday, is he? So
no. Which justifies his decision to not play these teams.
This is the thing, isn't it? I was surprised, but I wasn't bothered, mainly because I hadn't even had to travel across London, let alone from Torquay to there and back. That'd be a good thing to know, actually, if anyone's watching. How far did you travel for the game? Because I can understand it, especially when we've been playing so well. But what it highlights is how thin our squad is, even though we were looking at it going, oh, I think we're all right. Both of us sat there and said, we don't need any more defence. That's fine. But when you do think, oh, right, Reece Burke is basically made twiglets, like he's going to break like anything. And then you've got Sachenje, who hadn't really settled and did have an injury back end of last year. And then apparently Billy had a hamstring injury last season as well. Like, it does make you think maybe we just need to pack it full of players, and that's what it sounds like we're going to do. I mean, I saw your little thing about the Rak-Sakyi deal, but it sounds like that was off anyway, and it does sound like we were looking into other people on the right midfield, but now it does look like we've got to look at more defenders to just last the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because all the fan base was saying before the game or even long before then, like, our depth is looking pretty good. Like, suddenly, every guy's looking all right. And now it's like, our depth is shit. It's like, and not just because of the injuries, but also because of how the reserves performed, or some of them performed against Spurs. But yeah, I mean, we knew our team's injury prone. We know we've got a lot of injury prone players, especially in the defence. But yeah, to have not one but 2 serious injuries in one night in the space of 15 minutes is now. Yeah, I mean, and then finding out that Burke was injured before, which is a surprise to no one. But yeah, Jones is our only fully fit centre-back now, which is just, it's not good. And then, reading the whole Rak-Sakyi thing today, it just sparks a pretty chaotic next few days into the transfer window. And so we'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, we always get it. We always get injuries, isn't it? But it's always one extreme or the other. We always seem to have a fully fit squad or just have so many bodies out. It's never like 1 or 2 in one period. It's always just, it's one area of the team just has to get decimated, and now it's the defence, which is arguably the best we've got right now. But yeah, frustrating.
What did you think at the time, though? Because it was so confusing. When you see Sachenje go down, he gets back up, plays for a few more minutes. Then you see him go down again. Out of nowhere, Kometio seems to have just done his hamstring didn't even see the tackle, attack, whatever the sprint he did, and then out of nowhere they're both coming off, and we need to talk about it in more detail, and obviously we still need to talk about the amazing weekend performance. But what were you thinking in the ground at the time? What was everyone saying? Because it was so confusing watching it on telly. It must have been even more confusing in the ground.
Yeah, it was strange. Like when Collins first went down, we was like, "Oh, that don't look good." And then he got back up. It was like, "Oh, right, sweet, okay." It's normal as presumed. And then I think the second time he went down, I think it was to do with the pitch. Like he just went down, and I think his foot got planted in the pitch. I think that's what happened, and his knee just went after that. And we was like, "Yep, he's fucked." And then Billy just went down out of nowhere. Like it was just really. He just. At first, I thought it was Uma, and then I realised it was actually Billy, and I was like, "Blimey, this cannot be happening." And then obviously Collins gets stretchered off. Billy wanders off, strolls off the pitch, or waddles off, should I say? But yeah, it was really confusing. And at the end of it, when we saw the makeshift defence, he had a Simway at left back at one point, and then he was at centre back and drifted right back again, and it was all over the place. We was like, right, yeah, this is it was confusing, but it wasn't a good look. But obviously, I hope that Collins and Billy are not as serious. I mean, to be honest, Collins, that could easily be. I mean, if that's his ACL, that's his season over. It could easily be. And Billy, we hope, is not as bad, because I think Ramsey's got a hamstring, same thing, isn't it? So hopefully that's just a couple of weeks. But by the sounds of it, they both don't look good.
Well, and then, and this is the thing, isn't it? Ramsey's deal's just got. Well, it looks like it's nearly done, or it's just got done. So you're like, oh, maybe sounds like he's close to being back. And then Edwards is training again, and Message looked good, and you can think about things you could do. But Kometio was such a big plus, and I was still sitting there and watching the West Ham, talking to my brother-in-law that I watched it with, and just saying, like, we got him for 500 grand from Dundee. He looks incredible, and he was saying, yeah, it could take him at a couple of Premier League clubs. I just can't. That's the one for me, because Jones has been amazing. He's been excellent. He scored as many goals this season as TC got in the whole of last season. Like, he's been incredible. But Billy next to him, it must play a part, because when you've got someone like that next to you, it must make you play better as well. So God knows what we're going to do. But I guess that's the big thing, isn't it? If you do have this 4 million pot that was ready for the Rak-Sakyi, I reckon some of it's going to go into trying to get someone of the same level as Kometio, knowing what we can do when we've got someone like that.
Yeah, it has to. It has to, really. Billy's a big bloke, massive bloke. I mean, you could see him and Jones are already sparking up a pretty decent partnership, in the last few games. And Billy's taller than Lloydie. Like, that is ridiculous. It's such an aerially dominant back line that, to have him next to Lloydie must give a massive boost of confidence. But they're losing him is a big blow, and losing Collins next to him as well doesn't help. And Burke was already injured, so now we've got. Now we're struggling. But the one silver lining out of the Rak-Sakyi deal falling through, which I'm sure we'll speak about a bit later on, but the fact that we've got that £4 million to spend gives me a bit more confidence, because I mean, I don't know what we can do in the next few days, but we've got a few options. Do we splash cash on a decent half centre back to, let's face it, replace Burke, because he's going to be gone at the end of the year, isn't he? Or do we bring in a Premier League loan or a Championship loan, or do we even recall someone we've already got? It's something to consider there as well. But the fact we've got the money to spend is a bit encouraging, because, I mean, centre back, if it wasn't already a priority, it has to be now. I mean, we thought a couple of weeks ago, we don't need another centre back, we're fine. And now it's like, we need a centre back, like, badly.
It's funny. I'm sitting there watching it with my brother and my dad last night, and we were like, God, looking at it now, Goff was probably. It might have been a bit of a mistake to get rid of him, because he looks like he could step in. And Alex Mitchell, like, we've talked about him loads and how much I liked him. Even Zach Mitchell, like, you take him back there now. I mean, none of these are the same as quality as Kometio is, but just having the players in the building, I guess what makes me feel a little bit better is seeing that isn't the reason that the Rak-Sakyi deal fell through, because that felt like the third in 3 blows. Like, one, you're probably going to lose the game against Spurs. Couldn't care less about that, really. Like, take it or leave it. 2 is that we're not going to have Kometio available for the weekend, and probably not quite, well, God knows how long it's going to be. But 3, if that in turn then makes you lose the deal on Rak-Sakyi, that's a real triple blow in one night. And I woke up like, oh, fuck me, we got that to deal with now, thinking it was sort of my job. But it is one of those things that's like, at least if the Rak-Sakyi deal fell through because of something else, at least they would have been planning for that already. But part of me does think is that just good PR? Is that just a good way of spinning that story? Is that the case? I know we don't know, but by the sounds of it, it was something to do with the agent that just fucked it out, basically.
Yeah, well, according to Cooley, the deal was off before the Spurs game. So, yeah, that is entirely to do with the agent by the sounds of it. I think Cooley said in the article it was an ongoing dispute. So, I mean, we know Rak-Sakyi wants the deal. Rak-Sakyi wants to come here. He was at Sparrows Lane. He wants to join us. But the agent's obviously seen something at the last minute. Probably, let's face it, it's about money. He wants a bigger fee from it, doesn't he? That's the only thing about it. So the fact that it's an ongoing dispute makes you think that, okay, there's maybe some silver lining. I mean, look to last year, we thought the Harvey Nibbs deal was off, and then the next day we got him. So, you know, the transfer window is funny. It can change quickly. But yeah, I mean, I am glad that it isn't to do with what happened last night, because if it was to do what happened with last night, then it's really baffling. Like, I don't understand why we couldn't have got Rak-Sakyi and signed another centre-back, even if it was a loan. But the fact that it's not to do with that is a bit more positive, I suppose, because we have got a bit more money to spend. But it is gutting to lose Jez in this thing, especially because he wants to come here. Like, he wants to move. And it's just, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's just football nowadays, isn't it? Agents are always just looking to try and get that extra penny. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it develops. I'm sure we'll have other targets as well. Obviously, Abu Kamara was one of them. And I think Kamara actually sacked his agent to get the move to Portsmouth. So I don't see why Rak-Sakyi can't do the same thing. But we'll obviously have other targets if Rak-Sakyi's off. I don't imagine we wouldn't sign a right winger. We might, or maybe we just focus fully on centre back. I don't know, because you think about it, we've already got the depth. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, we're sitting there sort of laughing and joking when it was still 0-0 and talking about the Rak-Sakyi deal and like, oh, where's he going to play? Like, because, you know, you've got TC's coming to form, so he's obviously going to start. And Grant's been brilliant since he's come in. Where does he go? Probably, maybe he plays in the forward role, and then you have TC and Rak-Sakyi off of him. Then what happens when Kelman's fit? You can't leave a £3.5 million player on a bench. And what happens when Godden's fit as well? So you're talking about all this, and it's such a nice problem to have. Whereas now it's like, oh fuck, we haven't got him anyway. But you do take a lot of pluses from how we've been playing. I mean, where do you want to start? I want to know more about your travels, to be honest with you. So you got down to Torquay, you're sitting there with your family, you're having a lovely time. Right, you lot, I'm fucking off to Spurs. When did you leave yesterday? When did you get back today? How was that journey? Because I can imagine the way there was a lot nicer than the way back.
Yeah, it was big time. So I left here at 2 yesterday. Obviously had a few tins on the way up there. Got to London at 5. Got into Tottenham, I think, at 6:30. So I was
took you 3 hours. That's nothing, is it? 3 hours from Torquay.
Flew up
when the buses are broken down or there's a train dispute. I've waited longer to get from Sidcup to fucking London Bridge. Do you know what I mean? That's really good. That's all right, isn't it?
It was a nice little journey. It was nice. And then we got in the ground an hour before kickoff.
Talk to me about the stadium. Tell me about
it. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, that's the main reason why I wanted to go, just to tick it off. You know, it is the best stadium in the country, in my opinion. It's unbelievable. On the outside, it doesn't look like it's a ground, but when you walk in, you just can't help but just be impressed by it. Pints are cheaper there than the Valley, which is unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah. Do they fill up from the bottom?
I think they do. Yeah.
There's some of I know. I heard that was a thing at Spurs. And what about the walk from the station to the ground? I heard that's a bit of a nightmare.
That depends on what train station. Because if you go to White Hart Lane, it's literally there, like it's right there. But there's another station, Tottenham Hale, which is half an hour walk away. I was originally going to go there until I realised White Hart Lane. Yes, I'll take that any day of the week. So I went there. So train station is no issue. But yeah, it was good. The queues for pints go down really quick as well. Like the service there is really fast. So that was also another big plus. And then the atmosphere itself was just unbelievable. Just really, really good. Football was obviously a little bit deflating, losing 5-1, but is what it is. Not too fussed about the result, really. You know, not too bothered. It was just a nice day out, nice ground to tick off. The way back was terrible. Way back was not good. I got the train from London Waterloo at 9. And it literally went through every single stop all the way down to Torquay. So it took ages. Yeah. So I eventually pulled into Torquay at 2:15. So yeah, it wasn't a nice journey back. But the way up there was good. But you know what? You know, that's the pros and cons of going all the way up from Torquay to Tottenham, I suppose. But yeah, wouldn't have changed it. It's still a good day.
Last thing I'll ask you about it, how much are you paying for train tickets?
How much was it off the top of my head? About there and back, probably looking at about 70, 75 quid.
That's not too bad.
Yeah,
I drove down to I had to drive down to and from. Drove down to Cornwall on Saturday to see the in-laws and drove back on Monday. I must have done about that, at least that in. I think I did more than that. I must have done about 100 or something in petrol. So, yeah, you're not doing too bad. What? So you're getting there. You're on a train. You're getting out. Like, I'm going to see the Reds come on, and then this lineup comes out. What are you thinking? Because to be honest, like I wasn't. I was like, it makes complete sense. Let's focus on Preston. Couldn't really give a shit about this result. In fact, the longer we go in the Carabao Cup, same as last year, you know, the more injury chances you've got. But I did say it last year as well. I was really excited to see players like Aptar, Nibs, Messick, and Sachenje, players like that get a run out. Uma as well. I hadn't seen any of him. I know he played in the 21s. Was really surprised that Asimwe got a run out, but I'll tell you what, we'll go through them player by player. But overall, on the way up, how are you feeling about that lineup?
Same thing really. Just I looked at it as like this is a real test for them, like to prove themselves whether they can do the job in the Championship and get in Jones's good books. So I thought it was a good opportunity. And like you said, there were a few players I was excited to see: Aptar, Uma, Nibs, even Brooks in goal, who last year was playing for Gateshead. You know, so it's what a debut to get thrown in the deep end like that against Tottenham. But Asimwe was a big surprise. But then again, with Ramsey being injured, and we obviously don't want to risk McNamara, it wasn't too much of a surprise. But yeah, I just saw it as a great opportunity for them to just get some minutes in the legs first of all, but also to give them a real test and prove to Jones that I want to be playing in the Championship this season. And I think, if I'm being honest, some of them took that opportunity better than others. But yeah, I think it was clear that some were perhaps left behind a little bit, but some put in some good performances, which is despite the 5-1 result, which obviously we don't really care about. But overall, I think there was a couple of decent performances out there to be proud of. But yeah, I was thinking it's a good test.
I'm going to give you my top 3 impressed with and top 3 disappointed with. And there is a very big argument that it might not have been the fact that they didn't play very well. It's the fact that they're playing against Spurs that means they didn't play very well. But there were players there that really shone well, and they had the same players to deal with. So my top 3 that really impressed me: Aptar, only because he started really lightweight and he was misplacing passes, and I was like, oh, he's not done himself any favours here. But in sort of the second half, maybe not the second half of the game, but second half of the performance, he did start getting balls into the box, started opening passes up. I thought he played okay in the end. So it's glad to see him. It was a bit of a game with 2 R's for him, really. But Asimwe and the Message, I thought they were brilliant. And neither of them got big shout-outs on the South London podcast afterwards with Crawley and Louis. And it'd be interesting to see what people say tonight. But I thought Asimwe really stood up and was counted, and he wasn't letting anyone just walk around him. He did this weird bit at the beginning where he sort of did a weird jump, to almost out of the way. That was the first thing he did, and I was like, what the fuck have we done here? But then sort of was fine after that and did really well. Messick, I thought, if he comes in, I'm not jumping ahead too far, but I'm jumping ahead. If you have Messick left back and Bell inside left centre back, I think, and McNamara obviously plays right back, I think that could be a fine back four, because he was great. I thought he was just so aggressive, and what we liked about him in the glimpses we saw, he just doesn't take any shit, and he's not going to be pushed around. So they were the 3 that I thought really did really well. How did they match up for you?
Yeah, Messick was outstanding for me. He was the best. He was the best of the lot for me, in my opinion. He was just excellent. Like you said, there he's exactly what we thought we was going to get when we signed him. It's just that aggression. It's that Slovakian aggression that we want at the back. Yeah. You know, it's just that no nonsense. I'm getting stuck in. He didn't care that we were playing Tottenham. You know, he was quite seamless at centre back. I was quite surprised. You know, because he's not the tallest player in the world. He's not got a lot of height on him. But I tell you what, he don't back out of a challenge, and that's exactly what we want from him. So yeah, Messick for me, if there was a man of the match poll going, it would have been him, in my opinion. And then Asimwe, I mean, he had two chances to score, from 2 headers. I was quite surprised. And he obviously had to play a variety of positions. You know, he did struggle a couple of times against the wingers. I think it was him who got done for Mikey Moore when he scored the first goal. But all things considering, I mean, considering the level he was playing at last season and the performance he had to put in, I mean, I think, to be honest, I think he'd done quite well.
And he didn't even play much towards the end of his loan deal, did he? He sort of fell out of favour a little bit.
Yeah. So well done to Nath, because I don't think he was in or is in Nathan Jones's good books per se. I don't think he really rates him as highly, but with Ramsey injured, and I don't know how long he's out for, Masinwe could prove himself useful, hopefully. Well, we'll see how he goes, because I can't imagine, if Ramsey is out for a little longer, I can't imagine Jones can really afford to let Masinwe go, especially with all the centre-backs that are injured right now. So Nath might have just managed to squeeze himself in the team with that performance. Yeah, well done to him.
Was there anyone that impressed you more than those three out of that starting lineup?
I think, to be honest, I felt Doherty played well. I thought he got stuck in as well and drove forward a couple of times. It's just exactly what I expected from him. It was nice to see him get a little run around. I thought Uma was okay, still sort of undecided on him, but he did okay. And then I do want to give a shout out to Brooks, because a lot of people have obviously slated him, but you've got to remember the level he's come from. He was in step 5 last season. Do you know what I mean? And to make his debut against Tottenham, against a £300 million squad, they've spent 300 million. He's getting chucked into the deep end. He's going to concede goals. You could argue he's responsible for the first goal because it goes through his hands, but that ball is hit with so much power. It's like, I want to give Brooks a little bit of leeway here and be like, look, it's the opposition he's playing against. We know he's our third choice goalkeeper. He was always going to concede a few, even if it was Mannion or Okonkwo, we would have conceded a few anyway. You know, maybe not 5, but I don't know. Yeah, I want to give Brooks a little bit of leeway, because I think, all things considering, I think he done all right, to be honest.
The 3 that disappointed me, I'm going to be honest, and again, this is where it's like, is it just because of who they were playing against, or like they weren't able to do anything? But considering other players were able to do stuff, I don't know. Uma was one. I just didn't see. I don't know. He didn't seem very good. Like, he wasn't. There was a lot of misplaced passes. There was a lot of things where he didn't go in for the tackle. That first goal, he could have got his head to it, or just got through it. And that's what you want. That tenacity that Message showed. I think there's no reason he couldn't do the same. The other one was. I think both of these are going to be controversial, to be honest with you. Nibs really bothered me. Considering he'd been good in the friendlies and and that it was sort of like, oh, Nibs is going to be like a new player this season. I just didn't. I thought he hid a lot. I thought he sort of ran when he had to, knowing that he wasn't going to necessarily get the ball. He didn't really stamp any authority on the game at all. I think even the commentator at halftime or early in the second half said, we haven't really said Nibs' name much. And that's the thing. It's like, oh, well, fair enough. Like, he can't get near the ball because of who he's playing against. But you do want to see more from your players. It's not like we said, there's players in that team that were making an impact. And the other one was Mbik. And the reason Mbik bothered me was, as soon as Leeburn came on, it was like a massive jump up in quality. And I think Leeburn's been brilliant this season. I think he's been really, really good. Completely shut everyone up in terms, the same way TC has. He's come in, taken that position, made it his own. And now it's like, well, yeah, if we do bring someone like Rak-Sakyi in, you've got to drop Leeburn. And that's quite a big thing, because he's playing so well. Whereas in Mbik, I don't know, like, I just don't think he had much of an impact on the game. And he just didn't really, and it wasn't like he didn't have chances and didn't have touches. I know we didn't get the ball to him much, and I'm not slating him. I just wanted to see a bit more from him.
Yeah. I think, again, I kind of the same with Brooks. I want to give Mbik a little bit of leeway, because I think I did see him move about a bit and try and at least press the defence a bit, and maybe struggle to get hold of the ball. But like you said, when Leeburn come on, the golfing quality between the two was very clear. Like, Leeburn, again, superb off the bench. Nibs was the biggest disappointment for me. He showed exactly why Rankin Costello's been coming off the bench over him in the league. And Rankin Costello, by the way, again, was impressive off the bench.
He's good, wasn't he? Yeah.
And while I'm here, Alan Mwamba, my God.
Oh, that's another one for Umar. Sorry. Same argument for Leeburn against Mbik was Mwamba and Umar.
How confident did Mwamba look? He looked levels. Superb. But yeah, Nibs was a real disappointment. Like, he had a 3-minute spell where he was running towards the defence, and then it just seemed like he ran out of gas, and it just didn't, like you said. I mean, to be honest, I forgot he was on the pitch most of the time. Yeah, in that first half, he just went missing. Acton was a disappointment in terms of how lightweight he looked. I think it was clear that the physicality was lacking, and I do want to see a bit more from him, especially if we don't sign a right winger, because there's going to be a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try and walk into that team. The other disappointment for me was Ali on the other side. I think he struggled as well
Didn't
to
really
sort of
see
get in the
him
game
either,
in
did we?
pose and making impacts. It's the same sort of thing with Actor. You know, they're both sort of short and lightweight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a few disappointments, but yeah, Nibs was the big one for me, and I wasn't a big fan of Nibs last year. And if he's going to keep playing like that, I know it's Spurs, but Rankin Costello is currently levels above him in the squad, and deservedly so has been getting off the bench instead of him, and he showed that again against Spurs. So yeah, that was a real big disappointment. And with Mwamba coming on and playing the way he did, it puts pressure on the likes of Nibs and even Uma as well. Like their spot in the team's not guaranteed. So yeah, we need to see more from them and the wingers. And Bick, yeah, wasn't amazing either, but again, I want to kind of give him a bit of leeway like Brooks.
I don't think we can judge him solely on that performance, but
that's where some of the fans are getting mistaken, because this is what I was saying about the depth not being good. Some people believe in the depth not good. Like we are playing Tottenham, and they are pretty much very close to their full strength. I mean, Fernandez is more expensive than our entire squad and stadium. Like you know what I mean? Like that's the golf and quality we're up against. So we can't judge the depth of this squad, which is ultimately what that team was on that performance. You know, we've got to see how they cope in the Championship, but there were a couple of them that were like, are they going to be up for the level to the Championship? The likes of Nibs, Ali, and Bick, Aptar, Uma, players like that. Like there's some question marks leaning over there, but there were some that stepped up and others that didn't.
Definitely, and I think it makes it even. It's a bigger pat on the back for the ones that did stand out, because for exactly that reason, like Message, Asimwe, like you said, Mwamba looked like levels above, Lieburn looked levels above, Costello did really well. McNamara though, the McNamara just looks like he could play at that level if he's. I reckon he could play in like a just promoted team. Like I know he's dropped out of favour at Millwall, but he's walked into our team and made that spot his own. And exactly as you say, Ramsey comes back in. It's not a definite. And it's going to be interesting when people like Edwards are available and that sort of thing. Like, how do we shift that around to get our best 11? It's nice. It's a nice problem to have. I guess the only thing to ask you about last night is, who were you impressed by in Spurs? Because I'll be honest, I watched the Brentford game on Saturday, and Mikey Moore, I didn't do anything for me. I know he scores that first goal, but there was no one in that team apart until Savinho came on that I was like, oh, that's the difference. Until he came on, I know you got Poro and all that sort of thing, but Savinho was the one for me that I was like, that's the difference.
Yeah, I've also how comfortable they looked in midfield, like the way they moved the ball around, like Bergvall and Bentancur, you know, players like that can move the ball around nicely. I wasn't too impressed by their attack, to be honest. Tell and Solanke. I mean, I know Solanke scored, but Tell, I didn't really see him doing awful much. Mikey Moore, he got the first goal. He did look impressive on the wide areas. It looked like he could threat, but yeah, I think it was only really until Savinho, or Savio, who he likes to be called now, came on and really made a difference. Savio made me laugh. You know, celebrations he's got scoring 2 goals against Charlton.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny. Good luck to him. And obviously, I mean, they're getting Marmoush as well from City, I think, in a few days or soon. So yeah, I mean, that's just the quality they've got. That's just the golfing quality between those lineups there is ridiculous, and it just shows the level. I mean, Tottenham are shocking in the Prem right now, but it shows that's the level that we need to get to if you want to get that far. But yeah, fair play to him. They got their win on the board. I was listening to TalkSport, and some of their fans are saying, "Oh yeah, we're back now." Like, yeah, well done. You beat our third string team. Like, come on. You're probably going to get smashed in a weekend.
Till 40 minutes and losing our 2 best centre backs that were available.
Exactly that.
Whatever. Like I was watching it with my dad and my brother. And we were sitting there going, "This is our second, third string team. Spurs are not scaring us at all." And it's taken them a long time to break us down. We were sitting there like, if we can squeeze anything out of this game, even if it's only a loss by 1 goal, that it's just the disappointment is the goals that went in off set pieces, the last sort of 20 minutes where they just started scoring for fun. That was the bit that got a bit frustrating. And that's the bit where I reckon if I was in the stadium, you go, yeah, I don't know about this. Complete opposite to the big one, the one that we all care about, the game against West Ham at the weekend.
Yes.
And I know you weren't there for that one. You were watching that in Devon. I did. I just arrived in Cornwall. I'd driven the kids to a a sort of farm park thing in Newquay, and then my brother-in-law, just as I've paid for it on Charlton TV, and I've hidden away in the car to try and get the first 45 minutes. My brother-in-law messages me going, I've got it on TV here if you want it, and he's a 25-minute drive away, and I'm like, oh fuck. So 5 minutes before it came, I jump in the car. I've got it on my screen. I'm trying to watch it or listen to it, and it completely cut out as Lloyd Jones scores the overhead kick, and then as I arrived, I'm finding all this out. What a game! What a game! Like that is the team to beat. That's the benchmark for everyone. If anyone finishes above them, they're definitely going up. And we made them look so ordinary until the last 15 minutes. They didn't lay a glove on us. It was unbelievable. No. If we just have to try and keep that mentality, and it's going to be hard after this, but if we can keep any of that energy going into Preston, I know it's the same as last season and we all got carried away, but it's built on better things. And the one last thing I'll say on it is, weirdly, I watched exactly the same game as last season with my brother-in-law in Cornwall this year. So we beat Watford 2-1 first day of the season, and then we go away to go play Leicester and we lose 1-0. And it's the big thing that he said between last season and this season is just we're able to score goals. That's the only difference. We've just added that quality up top. Amazingly, it's from Lloyd Jones, but we're just a lot more. We just seem to be able to create a lot better chances, and we're a lot more lethal in attack.
Yeah, completely agree. That's the big difference. And another thing is that we can fight back and come back from behind, as we showed against Derby. You know, we've got that battle and that quality going forward. But yeah, the West Ham game was unreal. I had the same problem as you for the start. I was down. I think I was out of the house on my way back as the game was kicked off. My reception was terrible. Couldn't actually get hold of the stream. Struggling to actually buy the stream, and eventually managed to get through 10 minutes in. So I missed Jones's goal. And I think I pulled up to the house we're staying at just as the stream finally started working, and I just see 1-0 Charlton. I was like, "How's that happening?"
Yeah,
and I didn't see the goal at all. I had my notifications turned off. Didn't want to see anything. I wanted to watch it as it was. And yeah, just what a game! We made West Ham look terrible, to be honest, up until the final 15 when they scored and they started to pile on the pressure. Like, we just coped with them so easily. You know, they were blasting shots wide, we're struggling to get past our defence, we're blocking shots, making, defensive headers away. Arthur Okonkwo superb on his debut, making those saves on. It's so nice to have a keeper that we can actually feel comfortable with in goal.
What did you so I've heard two sides of that, right? So one, no one, everyone's been impressed with him. I think he's been fantastic since he's come. He definitely seemed a level above, but also the shots he had to save early on seemed really easy. And I don't know if that's just because he's massive and he just takes up so much for the goal, because so much of it he just seemed to catch, just seemed to be right in front of him. And that's a bit to do with West Ham being shit. But he also made a couple of saves late in the second half that were unbelievable. So good. And I think it's just the confidence he gives everyone. He's such a big presence because he's 6'6", 6'7", is he? I don't know. He just seems to make that goal look so small.
He's taller than Jones and Cometio, believe it or not, which is ridiculous. And it's just so, like I said, it's so good to have that character that you can rely on in goal. I mean, West Ham were just blasting shots straight at him in the first half, so they were quite easy. Second half, I mean, I would argue he's responsible for the goal because he does parry it straight into their path. And if Kaminsky's making that mistake, you're blaming him for it tenfold.
Yeah, you're right.
So you do kind of have to give him a bit of responsibility for that. But some of the saves he was pulling off, there was one good effort. I think they had on the edge of the box and he's just tipped it straight over the bar. He's just so huge. He's huge. And it's just a massive upgrade that we got in goals. It's great that we've got someone we can rely on. But yeah, just overall, just a superb team performance. I mean, the second goal, TC and Jones are flying this season right now. And
it's unbelievable, isn't it? What have they been having in their? They've been having their Weetabix or something like that.
I don't know.
They're just completely different players. I mean, Jones has always been brilliant, but no one had that in their this season's scorecard, did they? That bingo card of Jones getting. I know there's so much talk about him trying to add goals to his game, but I don't think an overhead kick was on the score sheet.
And now him and TC have got 3 and 3 now because Jones scored last night. So I don't know where they're finding it from, but it's funny that TC, when he plays his natural position, how good he can be. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it was nervy towards the end when they scored, and obviously they got the penalty.
Great, it's so good to see that penalty go hit the post because he sent the keeper completely the wrong way. The best thing about the whole thing, McNamara laughing in his face, brilliant.
Oh, that was superb. That was absolutely super, and that just puts McNamara way up in our books now.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Millwall thing, that's just forgotten about now. But yeah, I mean, initially when that penalty thing, initially I thought it was Stonewall penalty, but I didn't realise because Coventry's got his right arm way out, and I thought he hit his right arm, but it hits his left, and his left is inside here. So I thought it's a bit harsh, but it does hit his arm. You could argue it's unnatural, but
I think it's a lot easier to say it's definitely a penalty after we've won. Yeah. Jones even said it was a penalty. Oh, one thing I didn't say about last night was how shit the refs were. They gave us nothing. It was really fucking
no consistency.
It was really pissing me off. There was 2 fouls in a row, exactly the same. They gave the one to Spurs and didn't give our one. It was really annoying. But the penalty. Jones said it was a penalty. The first time that I saw the replay of it, I thought it was a penalty. It's amazing hearing Steve Brown and Louis on comms, Greg on comms saying no, definitely not, because I think it was pretty Stonewall, but I don't know. I guess those ones can go either way, can't they?
Yeah, no, it's one of them. But the big take I'm taking of that is, how is Jared Bowen, West Ham's captain, not stepping up to take that penalty? It makes no sense. And obviously, you know, that little stuttered run, I hate that stuttered run. And I just laughed to no end when Castellanos hit the post, and it was just biblical. And seeing all the West Ham fans having a meltdown afterwards, fantastic viewing.
Also, considering he had he dived as well, didn't he? Like that he dived before.
One of the worst dives I've ever seen. Terrible. But yeah, that could honestly be already probably the game of the season already. Like, just to go there when everyone was writing us off, West Ham fans expecting them to give us a thumping, and to go there and play them off the park. I know the stats are not in our favour, but we come with a game plan. Jones come with a game plan, and they couldn't cope with our game. You know, we just played them off the park in that regard. West Ham, I stand by it. I thought they were poor. I did not think they were good at all.
How would you rate the players? Because I'd be honest, pretty much everyone impressed me, bar Carey. And I know, again, I don't want to be overly harsh. Great performances, but we got to look to improve and get better every time. I just thought we looked a lot stronger when Costello came on. I just thought we looked better. And I don't know whether it's Carey just hasn't settled this season yet, or it's a bit of a hangover from last year. But he still doesn't seem able to pick the right pass or even just sidestep a tackle. He just seems to. It's this thing we said last year. He just runs into players.
Yeah, that's all he knows how to do. I don't want to call him the weak link of the squad, but it feels like that now. Like, it just, if you're pointing at any player from that 11 that you take out, Carey's probably the one you're saying instantly, and it's a real shame because we had a big reliance on him last year. But it's just that thing. He feels like a one-trick Eddie. He knows how to drive the ball forward, run through players at times, and have a shot. That's all he knows how to do. He's got nothing else to his game. And when you see Costello, who seems pretty seamless in adapting to this system already, he's under pressure, and you got Nibs there. So I don't think that spot is guaranteed right now. And you got Mwamba, who's been playing well as well. Like, I don't know if he's a 10, but I think, you know, him and Costello, they're putting the pressure on Carey and for him to deliver. It's also another thing. I mean, going on to Rak-Sakyi, but if we'd have signed Rak-Sakyi, could still happen potentially. But if you play Rak-Sakyi on the right, you play TC on the left, Grant as the 10, and then when Kelman's back, you play him as the striker. Suddenly that looks good, doesn't it? And I think Grant could easily play as the 10. So Carey for me is under pressure because, I thought he was anonymous against West Ham, to be honest. It was real, and has been all season so far, which is a shame. But I don't want to call him the weak link because it is still early days. But if he was to single out any player that could come out of the squad easily, Carey is it for me.
Yeah, I just think it's the easiest position to swap anyway because it doesn't affect back line or whatever. But also when you're not delivering, and especially as tight as these games are, I wanted to show you all these as well, but I can't really. I don't know if the sound's going to work and all that sort of thing. I tried to watch. There's been so much. There was so many things that came out. And I love them all. I was trying to. I don't know if the sound's going to work and that kind of thing. But
choose a window.
Can you hear that?
It's entirely up to you.
But, you can.
You can hear it, yeah.
You can leave out that front door, or you can choose a window. It's entirely up to you.
Just brilliant, isn't it? And there was this guy. He's my favourite of the lot.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God!
Just one guy really reacting badly for missing a penalty.
Daddy missed a pig.
That can't be real. That's got to be reactionary, isn't it?
I loved it though.
Or performative.
Yeah, I reckon. But then I reckon Jones was being truthful when we got into the playoff final. So I'm obviously falling for everyone's.
Yeah.
There was so much of that stuff though. I absolutely loved it, and to see it. I guess the only frustrating thing is that we're second, we're third in the table, and Millwall are still top.
Yeah, that's the only downside. But I think a lot of us are Millwall fans having a bit of banter afterwards. So Millwall fans were loving the fact that we done West Ham. So
yeah,
I think we was actually quite happy. I think some were actually saying like, how good would it be if it stayed like that? And we both went up. I mean, that's obviously wishful thinking right now, but Millwall. I mean, I think it's us, Millwall, and West Brom that have had a 100% start this season, isn't it? So yeah, it's all looking good in the league. But obviously, last night may have thrown a spanner in the works. But it's just how we respond on Saturday, isn't it?
That is it, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's what squad we got to play with, and also, we said it at the beginning. If that 4 million's available, and you can add, even if you had £2 million players, that's the biggest we've spent in this window. Like, there's still some stuff to be done, and there'll be a lot more movement towards the end of the window because there always is. Let's have a look at it then, and let's talk about lineup for the weekend because obviously Edwards still out. Bell's fine, but Kometio, Shishenje, Burke, Mannion,
they're
all out. Ramsey's still out.
Yeah, and suddenly it's like,
you're looking at it going, oh God, who do we play?
Yeah,
let's get a Conqueror in there because I haven't added him yet. Any ideas on how to spell?
OKONKWO, I think. It's a very let's
do that.
You're not going to be the only one who's going to have trouble with it.
So this is what I'd do. I'd have Bell there, I'd have Message there, I'd have Jones there, and I'd have McNamara there. And I reckon on that, Bell and Jones already have a bit of a relationship. Bell, you want him playing centre back rather than left wing back. Messick looked tidy on the when he played there at the weekend. McNamara looks quality as well. That for me is a bit of a, if you want to keep the same shape, that's what you do.
Yeah, I think that's pretty nailed on. Potentially you could argue you swap Messick and Bell and play Bell as the left back and Messick as the inside centre back. But there's an argument to be had there because I think Bell looked pretty seamless at left back and has done this season.
Yeah,
Messick proved against Spurs that he can do a job as a centre half, but I think if I had more confidence in anyone as the centre-back, it probably would be Bell. So I would probably play Messick as left-back and Bell next to Jones because they've already got that relationship from last season. McNamara's nailed on, obviously, and Okonkwo is obviously still going to be number one. So, you look at that. It doesn't look that bad. It's just we've got no other options besides.
Yeah, if either of them get injured, and Jones is injured anyway, he's just playing through it as he always is. Like, it doesn't take long. It's just how quickly someone like Edwards can come back or Ramsey.
Well, apparently Edwards is in full training now, so he could potentially be on the bench. There's a chance for that. He won't start. That's too soon because he's been out for nearly a year. But if he's on the bench, then superb, fantastic news. And Ramsey, I can't imagine he's too far away either. But Burke is out for God knows how long. Shishenje might be out for the season. Kometio, and so it's just the depth. That's a big problem.
Yeah. Out of everyone that's gone over the summer in defence, who would you have back if you could?
Good question. I'd go Keane and Goff, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say Goff.
I'd go with him. Maybe Alex Mitchell because he had a good spell at Plymouth. Even Gillespie, you could argue, because we know what he can do potentially. But there's a reason he's not really championship level. None of them are really the players we have let go of. Let's be honest. But Goff looked the most comfortable, I think, out of all of them. So Goff would be it for me.
All right, so let's look at Preston and actually use this. So that should back, if that's your back four, I'm assuming you're going to go back four rather than the back five. Who are you playing in the middle?
Chalobah, 100%. I'd stick with Coventry. I think he's done all right so far this season. He's been quite surprised, to be honest, by how well he's done next to Chalobah.
I think he's really stepped up, hasn't he?
Yeah. He was superb against Derby, and I think West Ham again put in a good shift. Less said about the handball, the better. But I think having Chalobah next to him has helped. So I think I don't see a reason to change that. And then
I guess the big question, who did you give Carey another run out? Has Costello done enough? Has Nibs done enough? I don't think so.
No, not Nibs. Definitely not Nibs. It's between Costello and Carey for me. I think I'd maybe give Carey one last shot for continuity, but if Costello comes on again and shines him off the bench, which as this season has proved so far he can, then he's knocking on the door for starting 11 for me. But yeah, I think I'd persist with that midfield 3, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then what about? I'm agreeing with you there. I like Costello coming on because I think he had something, but I don't necessarily think he isn't. I don't think he's like an impact sub. I just think he's probably just better than Gary, so that's where he's having the impact.
He just naturally suits this system because he can drive the ball forward. He's like Chalobah. Like this system, I think is great for him, and he's going to get more games because he just looks faultless in this system.
And then what are you doing up top?
Grant on the right, TC on the left, and Leeburn up front. Easy,
isn't it? It's just so nice when they're playing. Oh, sorry. It's just so nice when they're playing well because it's like you don't even have to really think about it too much. Let's move these guys over. What do you do with regards to when we were talking about loans and moving people out? I mean, it's you've had 2 big injuries there, but they haven't happened to the front line. Are you still wanting Fuller? Are you still wanting Carnu? Are you still wanting players like that to go out? And also Doherty, Doherty's the one who is still getting people knocking on the door, and there's apparently still a few teams out there that are willing to offer a fee for him. Yep. Is there anyone there that you think, they'll be better off just getting them out? Because I'll be honest, last night's kind of scared me about getting rid of anyone before anyone else comes in. So no.
That's the thing, because if injuries do hit us, that's like, oh, here we go. This is where the problem's going to kick in. I think midfield is the one I'm least worried about because we've got a lot of bodies. Like even if we do let Fuller go, we've got Coventry, Chalobah, Carey, Costello, Nibs. Like we've got options there, and Uma of course as well. And there's someone else I'm forgetting, but we've got options there that can do it. So Fuller, I do think Fuller needs a loan spell. I think the whole link to MK Dons has kind of gone a bit quiet. But I'd imagine he would move on between now and the end of the window. There's perhaps a spot there, but to be honest, I think in the system we play now, I think Mwamba's probably gone ahead of him. The Mwamba, that's the one I forgot. Mwamba, he's the one that's probably usurped him now in the lineup. So I think Fuller just needs a loan spell. I would still keep Doc as a squad player. I think Cooley reported today that Notts County want Carnu on loan, so I think that happens. I think Carnu does go. He goes on loan. Or maybe a permanent, because apparently we wanted a permanent, but now it looks like we might actually just loan him out. So I think Carnu, again, we can afford to let Carnu go because we play one up front and we've got enough options there as well. It's just the defence, that's the issue. Because I mean, it's the same with all over the pitch. If we get injuries and we have got an injury-prone squad, that's the kind of like, and that's what makes me think about Asimwe now. Like, would we be more sensible keeping him because we've got him to go? Do we just keep him now purely just the depth? Because if Sechenje is long-term, Cometio is long-term, if we're having to play Bell and Messick, if one of them two gets injured and if Edwards is still unreliable with injury, then we're in trouble. And same with Ramsey. So
I just don't think you get rid of anyone, especially on the back line. I don't think you get rid of anyone.
I don't think you can afford to now. It's too risky.
And also, I just wonder what's happened because it was that, I can't remember his name. It was Will something, wasn't it? Who was the doctor who was praised as being like the guy who came in and changed.
Will Abbott from Brighton.
Yeah. And he since he's gone, we've just had a much bigger injury problem. So I don't think it can be all down to him, but it definitely seems there's definitely a coincidence there. I just wonder, is it something the backroom staff need to look at? Because neither of those look like big, angry, aggressive tackles on either player yesterday. Is it to do with how they've been training or just the way they're running? Have they not taught them to run properly? Like what's going on? There must be something.
Well, that's the question I've always asked because before Will come through the door, how serious was our crisis then? Like the amount of players that we had injuries before he come in was ridiculous. It was a joke. Like that's always been the question. Like what is going on at Sparrows Lane that we just get this many injuries? It's at one time as well. It's ridiculous. But
and it always seems to be one position as well, doesn't it? Last year it was always left back. Now for some reason it's centre back. Like I don't know. Like to lose 3 in 2 days in one position is mental because it was what's his name? Burke was the day before, wasn't it? Or at least on the run up to
something like that. I don't think we ever actually knew what happened to Burke long before. Like Jones just come out yesterday and said Burke's injured, and everyone went, "Oh, Walter's wet then." No, do you know what I mean? Like, of course he is. But it's just
Godden's injured as well now, isn't he? Apparently.
Yeah, we never heard of that as well, and Mannion as well. Apparently, like what's happened there? Like I don't get it. It's always
a lot of players. It's a lot of players gone. I guess all you're hoping for is that the players who are injured come back in time to to take over from the ones that are about to get injured. But you can't
Well,
run a club like that, can you?
Well, like we were saying, Edwards and Ramsey look close. Edwards is back in training, so he looks the closest out of anyone. Ramsey as well. We don't know the ETA on Sichenje and the others that have been injured, but Sichenje could be end of season. Cometio will be a few weeks, maybe months. Hopefully not anyway, but it sounds that way. Burke is just a shard of glass. We don't know whether we're going to see him again. But yeah, it's just how long we're gonna keep this up. We always get injury prone players. That's just the thing. We just sign injury prone players.
Well, it's like we said about Chalobah. We wouldn't have been able to sign him if he wasn't injury prone. So you go right. We just take the risk on that. But you need at least 11 or 15 probably that are guaranteed to be there for the full season. Otherwise, you're not going to have any players.
Exactly, and there's a reason why Chalobah's been hooked off half an hour into games because we can't afford it. Like we know we need him fit. And Jones has obviously got confidence in the players behind him to come on and do a job. Like he probably needs to do that with the defence as well. Like just take off these players and ensure they don't break down. And like just take the same approach with Chalobah. Like when you've got these many players out injured, that's something you've got to do it. You got to do it.
So I guess the last thing is, what do you do on the window? And I think we're all agreed that we need to bring in at least one solid centre back that you want him to be. You want someone as good as Cometio that doesn't cost as much as Premier League's going to play. God knows how we found Cometio, because I just don't see how you. That's like we struck gold, and I don't see how it happens again. But that's kind of what we're looking for, isn't it? A big that profile of. I guess what the benefit of it being this late in the window is that the Premier League teams know who their first, second, and third players are. There will be some fourth players there who are going to be good enough to play for us. I guess that's where we got to start looking, see who's available. But the loan market is open later than the permanent market. So, I mean, is there anyone out there that you've heard rumours about at all?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I did see that. Who's he played for? A Brighton centre back, Iran Kashin. He was at Blackburn. He was at Blackburn last season, and ex Derby as well. Good, decent little centre back. He's apparently Brighton are going to let him go on loan. So for me, I'd look at that one straight away. We've not been linked with him, but he'd be a good one to bring in my opinion. Championship proven, could be decent alongside Jones. I think the fact that Jones's comments after the game yesterday, where he said it was disastrous and it's completely changed our whole transfer strategy, suggests that we wasn't thinking about bringing in a centre back before. So anyone we sign now will feel like a panic. So that's the only issue. Like we're signing a centre back for the sake of signing one. But I just think the big one for me is Burke. I just think whoever we bring in will ultimately be his replacement, because Burke for me is just so unreliable to the point where we just need to just push him away from the squad, in my opinion. So anyone that comes in for me will be his replacement, because obviously Billy and Sichenje I think are ultimately. I think in terms of reliability are better than him. But I just think anyone that we sign now will end up being a panic. But obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But the fact we've got money to spend, as the Rak-Sakyi deal proved, maybe we bring in a permanent or we go loan market. I'm not sure. So centre back for me is the big priority. And then there's the whole right winger thing. Like, do we bring in a right winger? Because I mean, I'm still holding out some hope that the Rak-Sakyi deal comes through, because he wants to come here. Like that he's made that clear. So I'm still holding out hope that happens. If it doesn't, and then we don't go with a right winger, we've then got to rely on Grant and Campbell, who are flying in the first team in the minute and starting. But then Ali and Apter are the concerns for me in terms of whether they can be competitive and they can do a job. Because there's going to be huge pressure if we don't get Rak-Sakyi, especially on Apter. I think there's going to be huge pressure on him to step up and deliver if Rak-Sakyi doesn't come in, or if we don't bring in a right winger. So, I think we're going to sign someone. It'll be minimum one, and it'll probably be centre back, because that's the big priority now. But I can see us bringing in a right winger as well. So I think that'll probably complete us. Midfield, we're fine. Don't need another one there. So I think that'll be good.
I agree. I think it's just a case of who we can actually get hold of. And, business has been up and down, but this window, I think we've really done well. Like last year, we had a couple of real duds, and that's been proven because they've already gone out. And even the window before that with the Hadmay, no idea where that came from. But the players we brought in this window have all pretty much to a man, I think, improved us and given 100%. Us options. Even if we haven't seen the best of some of them, like Ali, maybe you'd say. But no, we look really solid. I kind of trust them to do the business. And it's funny, like I was watching interviews with Jim Jim Rodwell, and I watched the meeting with the board and thing, and I do trust them. I don't know if that's me just being a silly like fanboy, but I do think they've got the best. They've got the right heart. They've got the heart in the right place, and are going to do things that aren't going to cripple us financially, but are going to help us move forward slowly but surely. I mean, if you judge it on the league performances, we're absolutely fine in flying. We just need to keep it going, basically.
100%.
A couple of good comments from last week that I wanted to bring up. Again, someone else mentioning TC, humble chops. Fair play TC's performance, found him great, push defender back, trying to rip his shorts off, and the free kick led to the first goal. He looked good, stand up to that play. That was I've seen that in TC. He just seems to be a bit more confident and giving it back a bit more. I think maybe he had that a little bit previously, but it normally ended up being, it was almost like a little kid trying to pick on kids that are bigger than him. Whereas now it seems like he's actually just holding his own and being standing up and being counted.
It's him being his natural position as well. And I think Jones continuing to have the faith in him to play in his natural position, because obviously the system changed. We've looked to sign other wingers, so it's put him under pressure to be like, right, my spot in the team is not guaranteed. But Jones has persisted with him in his natural position, and he's just shone. Like, it's night and day. The difference between him last season compared to now is just night and day. And I'm just seeing, like, I'm really happy for him. I was critical of TC last season, and I think rightly so. But I think he's now coming to his own, and I think with this new contract behind his back as well, which is massive, you know, him, the player that we all deep down believed he could be. So yeah, I think fair play to TC. Well done to him. We're seeing a different player.
How much do you give credit to Jones this season versus how wrong was he last season? Because we said it all through, like, he was being. We had a go at TC, but not as much as we had a go at Jones for mismanaging him and starting him out of position rather than just bringing him on for the last half hour, being an impact sub, and he just didn't seem to want to do it or didn't want to change the formation to suit him more. Is that just Jones just playing the cards he's dealt and they're the players he had so he couldn't change it, or is it a bit of mismanagement, or is he just managed to, this has all been like a long-term plan and it's worked perfectly?
Last season was down to mismanagement for me, because he just kept persisting with him at left wing back, and we know that that's not his position, and it was just so frustrating just watching it constantly, and him continuing to play when arguably he deserved not to and should have been dropped, simply because of the amount of games he was getting, and he was clearly fatigued, and also just because he wasn't playing well, in my opinion. So I think the fact that persistence just wasn't good for him. Whereas now the system's changed. He rates him, obviously. We know he rates him. So he's obviously had that faith in him, and he's played him in his natural position, and you know, the management's suddenly working well because TC's flourishing. And a good example of how good his management's been is the fact that he wasn't in the squad last night. You know, he's now not looking to take risks with him, which is good. You know, but maybe last season he would have played that game, which would only have, you know, tired the situation, because he's also a Jamaican international. You know, the kid plays a lot of games, which is another positive. Like, he doesn't get injured, which is brilliant. But yeah, I think the management has definitely changed, and yeah, I think we're reaping the benefits of that, because now he's showing us that, you know, he's the player that we all believed he could be.
One more to show quickly. This is quite interesting. This is obviously the last time we recorded. It was before we brought in a Okongwu and Robert Coxey. I'm not keen the Wrexham keeper. He's a ball fumbler, not really good enough to make us make good progress. Time will tell, but that's a bit of egg on his face at the moment, isn't it? Do you think?
A little bit, yeah. Like I say, I mean, you could argue he's responsible for the goal against West Ham, but I mean, all things considering, he just gives. I just feel a lot more confident with him in goal, like especially compared to Kaminsky, in my opinion. Mannion can be good on his day, but Okongwu, for me, I think he is 100% number one in my opinion. He's just that towering presence that we needed in between the goal. It must be so. I mean, it's a shame that Kaminsky's not there now, but Okongwu in goal with Kaminsky and Jones must be the most intimidating back line and goalkeeper for any attack. Like, it's just man mountains.
They're huge. They're all huge. We've got a big team, haven't we? Lieburn, even Grant's a big lad. Like Chalaba's big. Like, we've got a big team. Look, we've run out of time. Go and enjoy your holiday, mate. How much longer are you down there for?
A couple more days, and then back over the weekend for my mum's birthday, and then the shenanigans continue there because we've got a birthday party for her back at home. So yeah, Be nice and good. But yeah, I enjoy my next few days. But yeah, it's been good.
Are you
It's been a
back in
good little
time
trip
for
down.
Preston?
No, I'm missing that, unfortunately. Missing that game, which is a bit of a shame. But I think the Tottenham game makes up for it. I was a bit gutted. I'm not going to make the Preston game, but yeah, do you know what? I can afford to miss one. Hopefully, that's the only home game I miss this year.
Cool, nice one.
But I'll still watch it. I'll be a Charlton TV job.
Yeah. Always good. It's nice to get the proper commentary. Do you know what I mean? No lovely bias opinions from the boys. All right. Well, thank you very much for liking. Set your comments down here, and we will see you next week.
Take care, guys.